All right, welcome back. Now, today we're going to tackle a big one, and this is setting boundaries without turning your relationship into a battlefield. Because some of you think boundaries means being aggressive, and others avoid boundaries altogether because they don't want to rock the boat. Both approaches kill respect, guys. Both of them do. So you may be wondering what a boundary actually is. Because I get that. I get that. Maybe you never use that word. Maybe you don't talk about boundaries. But a boundary is not a wall to keep people out. I used to think this. I used to think a boundary is like, hey, it's a boundary. It makes sense. It's a boundary. It's a wall. Keep the people out. But it's actually a fence that shows where there is a line. It protects both people. So you can decide if you want to let somebody in or you can let somebody out, but you have that boundary, which is a fence. It's very simple. Now, for example of a boundary, you tell your woman, I don't tolerate yelling during disagreements. Plain and simple. You tell her that. That's not controlling her. It's not controlling her at all. Think about the wording. I don't tolerate yelling during disagreements. You're not saying, hey, you better not yell at me during disagreement, or hey, don't you ever. No. I don't tolerate yelling during disagreements. And if she yells at you during a disagreement, she is overstepping your boundary. I knew a guy, man, and he never set this rule. He never thought this was important, and it always started him and his wife. This is back when I was in the military, but him and his wife, it was weird. I'd just be chilling, trying to mind my own business because I ain't trying to be in their stuff. And it starts from zero, just normal disagreement, whatever. Next thing you know, I'm hearing insults from both. Y'all married and like, y'all got a kid? I think, no, they had 2 kids. They had a kid on the way. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, like how often do y'all do this? But the respect drained out of that relationship until there was nothing left. They ended up not working out because it just went straight from 0 to 100. And there was never a middle ground. It was always yelling and it was just no respect. And that's something that I don't want for you guys, because you have to learn, being a leader in a relationship, you have to learn how to lead. You have to. As if you're a man listening to this, you have to learn how to lead. And this is something I was taught years ago. And it's a constant reminder. And I'm going to share this with you. It's women, and I'm not trying to sound woo-woo or anything like that. I'm just letting you know what it is. I'm just letting you know what it is so it makes more sense. Women have very powerful emotions and energy, right? But it's not contained. It's like a wildfire, or it's like electricity. Lightning is just very strong, very intense, powerful, but there's no control. Now, men, our energy is control. Not control like controlling a woman or anything like that. It's more of containing that energy and acting like we have sense, being logical. And so when you get into a disagreement with your woman, or it's an argument, and she flies off the handle 0 to 100, and you fly off at the handle 0 to 100, there's always going to be conflict. There's always going to be arguing. There's always going to be just insults, and just there's not going to be any resolution because nobody is grounding the situation or the conversation. And your job as a man is, you have energy, emotions, whatever, under control. And that's your job as a man, to control your emotions, have self-control, and to ensure that your woman has some type of self-control, that she doesn't go off the rails or just acts crazy and you don't do anything about it. That's very important for you to understand that. And that's the reason why you see women that go from 0 to 100. They just get upset and crazy, cry and break shit. And that's the reason why. And when you see, I know you guys have seen this before. I've seen it where guys will break shit as well, fly off at the handle, 0 to 100. And that's more feminine. Even if you're upset, check this out. Even if you're upset, say for instance, you walk in on your woman cheating on you in the worst possible way that you could ever imagine. Yeah, it's messed up. But if you fly off the handle, you start breaking shit, you start punching people, and you do all this stuff that ends you in jail or a lawsuit or whatever. That's you letting yourself act more feminine, even if you're upset. Now, the thing about it, and I'm not trying to go too far down that way because I have some more stuff I want to cover, but you have to keep in mind, no matter how upset you are, no matter how excited you are, even if it's good stuff going on, you want to have some level of calmness to you. You want to have some level of calmness, control, peace. And when you're solid like that, and you have control and you have peace and you're calm, your wife or your woman or your girlfriend, she'll see that in you, and that will calm her down because she's like, I can't get a reaction out of him. I can't take him out of character. He doesn't play any games. And that's what you want. That's how you want to lead. But if you go off the handle, no matter, even if you're upset and you start to insult her, or you break things, or you scream and yell, you get angry, you are displaying female actions. As hard as it is to hear, that's what it is. So just keep that in check. Learn how to control yourself. Self-control is very important. But this is going to help you set boundaries, but also be calm about it and not overwhelm you or make you feel that you're stepping out of character, being somebody you're not. And that's nip things in the bud. You want to state it early. Don't wait until after disrespect happens 10 times. Whatever you deem that makes you feel uncomfortable or is disrespectful to you, and you don't do anything about it over and over, disrespect is going to continue to grow. So you have to nip it in the bud. You have to state it early, and you have to be specific. Tell her, hey, I need some space when I'm upset, or whatever you think you need. Make sure you start it with an I need this, or I want this, or whatever you think you need. Let her know that. And that's way better than saying, stop disrespecting me, stop being a bitch, stop fucking acting like that. Whatever you're saying now, you want to make sure that you let her know that you need your space, and you actually take some time to cool the fuck down. Whatever you got going on, take some space and let her know that. When you state it early and you're specific about it, you want to follow through. Because a boundary without consequences are just wishes. You have to follow through. Like I said before, if your words do not align with your actions, she's not going to take you serious, and a disrespect is going to continue to grow. Every time you say something and your action does not align, it's one brick of disrespect on top of another. It just keeps piling up. And the next thing you know, you have a boundary that is accepting disrespect. You don't even have a boundary. You have a prison of disrespect. I'll put it to you like that. Just keep that in mind. Now, last thing I want to share with you is how to avoid you coming off as like you're giving her an ultimatum. And the key to that is your tone. Boundaries are not emotional explosions. They are simply statements. That's all they are. They're simply statements. And see, here's the thing. The more calm that you are, the more powerful your boundary is. Because like I said before, women, they're more explosive. They have a lot more energy when it comes to being upset, being angry, and the energy that they carry that is not tamed. But us as men, we have to have that logic and that self-control to be calm, because that's how a lot of women judge you. Think about it, right? If a woman sees that she can push her buttons, or you're trying to set a boundary or a standard or whatever, but you're angry and aggressive and it just sounds like you're being an asshole to her, that's letting her know that you have really no control. Because a calm person, let me take that back. A man who knows what he wants in life and he's secure of himself and sure of himself, he's calm. He doesn't have to raise his voice. He doesn't have to get angry. It's just like a monk or a martial artist, right? They're calm, they're cool, they're collected, but they also can whoop ass. That's the thing you have to keep in mind, is your boundaries are law. And at the same time, you don't have to beat your chest and say, hey, this is my boundary. This is what it is. You just have to calmly let her know what it is and make sure your actions align with your words. That's all you got to do. Think about this. Think judge in a courtroom, right? He doesn't yell to enforce the law. His calm authority is the power. Simple. You can still be calm while also being very powerful. So I want to leave you with one action step, give you something to do, something to ponder on. And what that is just write down one boundary you've been avoiding. Write down one boundary. And this week, just state it clearly, calmly, and without apology. So don't be passive. Don't be aggressive. Don't be passive aggressive. Just state it clearly and calmly. That's all I want you to do. Just remember, boundaries aren't selfish. They're leadership. And leadership in a relationship is attractive. Lead, don't plead. Until next time, I will talk to you guys later.